Good morning. This is Anna Crowe with the Get Real podcast, where CEOs, CMOs, and communications experts share their real advice. It's 5 questions under 9 minutes because we get to it real fast. So let's get to it. I'm thrilled to have today's guest on. In a few sentences, could you please tell us who you are and what you do?
Thanks for having me. I'm Edo Banach, President and CEO of the National Hospice and Palliative Care Organization.
Wonderful. Well, as I mentioned, I'm so thrilled to have you as a guest. Edo, what would you say is the best thing about being a leader in your space?
I think the best thing is hospice and palliative care are all about making authentic connections with each other at the end of life. And as the president and CEO of the organization, I get to be as authentic and real as I am. There's really no reason to pretend to be anyone else, and the connections that I make with the people on the front lines who are angels is so fulfilling.
Yeah, and you raise a really great point. I hear from other leaders that creating authentic connections can be challenging when it's very noisy out there. What's your take on that?
It's true, but I think that you need to block out the noise and relate to other people as human beings, especially in the midst of the pandemic, where people are struggling with virtual school and people are struggling with visiting their loved ones. We're all in this as human beings first, and I think that if you approach this journey in that way, then I think it's easier to block out the noise.
Mm-hmm. You do such important work, and your organization obviously does such important work. And that's really wonderful advice that you've shared with us. Do you have any other real advice for other leaders? Is there anything else that you think is really important?
Yeah, I think, 2 things, and they're related to what I just said. One is that, be your true self. Then you're never going to forget who you're supposed to be, right? So the Edo, the CEO, and Edo, the dad, and Edo, the husband are actually the same person. The other thing is we need to get to a point in this country in terms of equity where everybody can feel comfortable being their true selves, whatever their background, whatever their race, whatever their gender, whatever their preferences. And then I think that we will have a much more successful and rewarding professional career across the board.
You're so right. And when I speak to a lot of corporate leaders, a lot of it stems from the top, and a lot of it stems from the environment that's created in an organization, right? So an environment that promotes and makes you feel safe to be your true self and to bring out all of your unique qualities. And you raise a really good point about the broader environment, right? And creating that opportunity for others to be able to bring themselves to the table.
Yeah, I mean, I remember I said to someone not long ago the same thing I just said, which is be your true self. And she said to me, some people aren't comfortable being their true selves. And I had to think about it. I'm a white male. I can be my true self. Some people can't. And so part of my journey and goal is to make sure that everyone can.
I love it. Well, before we get to find out how you got started, are there any other successful executives such as yourself that you would like to acknowledge while we have you on this podcast?
My chief advocacy officer, Hannah Yang Moore, who I've known for about 20 years. We've been kind of running in similar healthcare policy circles. I want to acknowledge her. She is a true leader.
Wonderful. All right. Well, our last question is more of a fun one. You've had this incredible career and journey, but can you tell us how you got started? What was your first job?
Well, my first job that didn't have to do with taking care of kids in camp and things like that. My first job was working as a waiter at Pizzeria Uno. And it was when I realized that I wasn't cut out for being a waiter. I had a special station of, I think, 2 tables. And I did well on tips because they felt bad for me. But I did that for 2 summers and then found my true calling in law and then healthcare later.
Oh, I love it. Well, as they say, it's really great to have that experience in food and beverage in that industry when you're younger, because I think it teaches you quite a bit about customer service, what you love, what you don't love, how to listen to customers, and really work those crazy hours as well.
And teamwork. That's what it taught me. Is it really takes everybody working together to have a positive experience there. So I love that.
Mm-hmm. Fantastic. Well, how can people get a hold of you or learn more about the organization and what you're up to?
So the nhpco.org is our website. Best way to get information about NHPCO, whether you're a consumer who wants more information about hospice and palliative care, or you're a member who wants to join us. And all the information about me and how to get a hold of me is on there. So nhpco.org is the place.
Fantastic. Appreciate you joining us this morning. And thanks everyone for tuning in. This is Anna Crowe. For more insights, visit us at crowepr.com. Thanks so much. Make it a great day.